Hey, what's going on, guys? Ray Shapley, where to live in Austin. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about where would I be buying or investing in and around the new Apple campus. So this idea was a comment left in one of the comments of my other videos, and I thought it was a fantastic idea, and so I thought I'd put this video together. So a couple disclaimers real quick. This is a map that I've kind of made of the area. First of all, these are neighborhoods. All these colored shapes around are different neighborhoods. This black dot in the middle is black shape. This is the Apple campus, the new one. And then these are the light rail stations. If you click on them, you'll see Lakeline and you'll see Howard Station. So that gives you an idea. Those go into downtown. And then here you have the Domain, which is a shopping center I've talked about in other videos, big, massive development shopping center. And then here you have the Arboretum, which is kind of the predecessor to the Domain, the original shopping for North Austin. So, but it is relevant because the two kind of work together to complete pretty much any shopping need you might have. So one thing I'm going to say, actually I'm going to say a few things. So these neighborhoods here that we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you guys access, link in the description to this map, but just know these neighborhoods are not drawn. I mean, I kind of freehanded them, so they're not exactly right, but they're really close in terms of their shape and dimensions. And then the other thing is in terms of getting this video to a manageable size, what I did is I went to where Apple is going to be, and I basically did a 5-mile radius. So I said, I'm looking at commutes, right? And I'm thinking, we want to keep this under 20, 25 minutes, even if traffic's bad, 5-mile radius. And so there are other neighborhoods, like for instance, just to the south of here, just to the north of this area that have great neighborhoods that you could totally pull off working at Apple. But I really want to focus on people who want a relatively short commute coming to work. So here we go. So 5-mile radius, let's get started. All right, so the closest one in to Apple is gonna be Millwood. Millwood is got this kind of older neighborhood charm. The homes were built in the 1980s, average home size about 1,800 square feet. Average home price about $340,000, and the average rental somewhere in the $1,750 range per month. Now, this is a big neighborhood. You can see it's super close to Apple. So it's so important in this neighborhood, and this will be the case for other neighborhoods we look at too, but in this neighborhood, it's really important to know where you're buying. There are good sections that are really charming and not so good sections because it's a massive neighborhood. It's big. Also, something I like about Millwood is there's really nice parks in and around the neighborhood. There are schools in the neighborhood. It's just overall, it has a lot of the things that larger neighborhoods have that come with it that I think make it super useful. And then, of course, it's so close to Apple. Moving out to the east from there, we're going to have Schofield Farms. Now, Schofield Farms is a little different, a little bit higher price point. And by the way, we're going to cover every price point on this. Homes were built in the late 1990s, so it's a newer product. The average home size is 2,200 square feet. The average home price is about $370,000, and the average home rental price is about $1,820. So a really good option for people who want to be in newer, larger homes, but still under that $400,000 mark. All right, from there, let's talk about Andersen Mill. So Andersen Mill in some ways, it's very similar to Millwood. There's definitely some differences. So we have really two neighborhoods, Andersen Mill here, and then we've got Andersen Mill West out here. They're very similar. They're just, in terms of location, you can see one is just a little bit closer in. Overall, you're still talking about probably max 15-minute commute here on these neighborhoods. So Andersen Mill is Round Rock ISD. The homes are built in the late 1970s. The average home size is about 1,800 square feet. The average home price is $311, and the average home rental price right now is about $1,700. Now, if we go into Andersen Mill West, this is Leander ISD. So it's a different school district. This is kind of Chevy or Ford in terms of if you ask people which one they like better. Some people are going to say Leander ISD. Some people are going to say Round Rock, and they'll give you their reasons. I've said this in other videos, but if you're concerned about schools, the district's fine, but look into the individual schools. The homes were built in the 1990s in Andersen Mill West. So it's a newer product. Average size is about 2,000 square feet. And the average home price is about $300,000, and they rent for about the same, about $1,700. So two decent options there, both with really good locations. Now, moving down from there, we're going to get into, I think, some of the more interesting neighborhoods in Northwest Austin. Let's start here. So Balcones Country Club area. This area, a lot of people don't know it by name. They'll call it like Balcones Village or the Balcones area, or sometimes they confuse it and call it Great Hills. But here's the thing. This is Round Rock ISD, so top-rated schools in this neighborhood. Homes were built in the 1970s all the way into the 2000s, with the average being in the 80s. The average home size is 2,800 square feet. The average home price is $620,000. The range of home prices in there is going to run anywhere from $380,000 all the way up to $1.5 million. And the average home rental price is $2,530. This is what's interesting to me about this neighborhood. So this is one of these old, like 1970s, 1980s country club neighborhoods where we have one in South Austin called Onion Creek that unfortunately floods a lot. But what's cool about these neighborhoods is every home in there is a custom home. And, when it was built out, there's a lot of character. So the repetitiveness or cookie cutter thing that mass production neighborhoods have, this one definitely has a different feel. Everything feels custom, even though it's old. So it's kind of this retro custom feel, which I really like. I think this is like how neighborhood charm is built. So big fan of this neighborhood overall. I think for, especially if you like unique homes. Now, the thing about custom homes, when everyone coming into that neighborhood, hundreds and hundreds of people were building custom homes, not everyone's got amazing taste. And so some of the custom homes there are really horrible, and but I'd say the majority are just awesome. So you get some really unique, some character homes in there. But anyways, I would highly recommend you look at the Balcones Country Club area if that's the kind of style you like. Now, real similar to that neighborhood is going to be Great Hills below it here, this purple shape. Everyone, well, I won't say everyone, but a lot of people know Great Hills. It's a really well-known neighborhood. If you look at the size, it's massive. There's actually 2 school districts in Great Hills. So if you see, you've got kind of 2 areas here. Down here is going to be the Austin ISD, and up here is going to be the Round Rock ISD. So the northern part of the neighborhood is just, quite honestly, I think a better school district. But 12 to 15 minutes from the Apple campus, it's got both school districts. The homes were built anywhere from the 60s to the 2000s. The average is about 1980. Average home size is about 2,450 square feet. Average home price, $535,000. And the average range in price can be anywhere from $270,000 up to $1 million. The average rental price is about $2,100. So much like the Balcones Country Club area, this neighborhood definitely has a lot of unique homes. There were a lot of custom homes built in here. Like the name says, Great Hills has fantastic topography. So this is where you start to get into the kind of hill country on the outskirts of kind of more flat Austin that seems to kind of, most people, everything inside of 183 here, it tends to be kind of flat. But once you move out into this section, you start getting some really cool topography, and that gives you great views and all these other things. So Great Hills and the Balcones Country Club area, I think, are fantastic choices for someone who wants, a home with some character, an older home, but yet in a very well-established neighborhood. By the way, I think these 2 neighborhoods stand to appreciate so well, and actually all of these, just because of the gravity that comes with Apple and the domain and all these things. Pretty much all of these neighborhoods are going to appreciate well, but particularly these 2 that we just talked about. All right, now let's talk about this one over here. So this is Canyon Creek. So Canyon Creek, for the most part, feeds into Round Rock ISD. And the particular schools that Canyon Creek feeds into are top-notch. So across the board, good schools in the Round Rock ISD section of Canyon Creek. Now, the one caveat is there's a small fraction of the neighborhood that actually feeds into Leander ISD. And while those aren't bad schools, in my book, they're not as good as the Round Rock ISD schools in the neighborhood. So perfect world, I'm buying in that neighborhood. I'm really making sure I'm getting in the Round Rock ISD. The homes were built in the 1970s up to the 2000s, with the average being in the 80s. The average home size is 3,200 square feet. So you're getting into a bigger, much larger home here. They range from $350,000 to $700,000. And the average home price is about $495,000. The average home rental price is $2,400. So great neighborhood for the larger homes, great trees in the neighborhood. The one thing I would say is that, a lot of the homes in this neighborhood are going to be a little bit dated. And so they probably haven't had a real serious update, which means a couple things. Number one, if you want to put your own kind of spin or taste on the house, this is a great opportunity. Just make sure you buy right. I think pretty much all of the neighborhood is good. All the different sections are lovely. There's different price points and different sizes, but just on average, you're looking at 3,200 square feet. It's got great access to everything like the rest of these neighborhoods, but it's also right on 620. So you have another way in and out of the neighborhood that's pretty convenient. All right. So trying to move through here quickly. Got 2 neighborhoods left. So up here, let's move into North Austin, Cedar Park area, Round Rock. So this is Avery Ranch. Avery Ranch is a very well-known neighborhood in Austin. What I would say I like best about Avery Ranch is it's a really good blend, the way it's been developed, of, all different kind of aspects, all different styles of homes throughout the neighborhood, and also really great shopping all built in throughout the neighborhood. Just overall, I think it's probably one of the more popular neighborhoods in North Austin. There's a section that's Leander ISD and there's a section that's Round Rock ISD. They're both top-notch schools that Avery feeds into, independent of the ISD. They're both good. Homes were built in the early 2000s all the way up till today. They're still building in certain areas, like Pearson Place. Average home size is 2,700 square feet. The average home price is about $450,000. Homes range anywhere from $300,000 to $900,000, and most of the new build products start around $600,000 and go up from there. Average home rental price is about $2,000. There is a golf course in the neighborhood, and the homes, you have price points all over the map. Different size homes, different price points. So you can really, almost anyone can find something to meet their needs in there. But it is newer homes, kind of maybe a little bit more of that cookie cutter. And like I've said about a lot of these neighborhoods, there are some sections are better than others. And this is kind of across the board with most neighborhoods, but particularly with Avery Ranch, there are some really charming sections and then some more kind of homogenous, kind of cookie cutter feel. But Avery Ranch is a contender. It's 15 minutes away from Apple, and again, highly rated. Now, last but not least, let's talk about Brushy Creek. So Brushy Creek is a big, I hate to call it a neighborhood. It's really it's like a municipal utility district. So this is an older one though, so it's lower taxes, and there's a lot of different kind of sub neighborhoods inside of this one neighborhood. Brushy Creek is going to be, just for some overall numbers, the homes were built in the 1970s to 2000s with an average build year of 1997. So they are newer. Average home size of about 2,500 square feet. Average home price, $385,000, and an average home rental price of $1,800. Here are some of the neighborhoods within Brushy Creek. So you have Cat Hollow, you have Stone Canyon, Fern Bluff, Oak Brook, several of them in here. But I want to talk about one in particular that's one of my favorite neighborhoods personally in this area, simply for one reason, and that is, the style of home, and then also the trees. So I'm a big fan of just beautiful oak trees. In Texas, shade is kind of a luxury, and this neighborhood in here, Oak Brook, is just one of my favorite. I think it's a really good buy right now, and I think that while there's great homes all over, the trees in Oak Brook, for me, just it's hands down my favorite. I think it's super affordable considering what's coming. I personally feel that what you're going to see with Apple here over the coming years is you're going to see a lot more flips and renovations in a lot of these surrounding neighborhoods, because it just kind of puts things on the map, and there's people moving from out of state here, and they're going to want kind of ready to go, completely done up homes. And when you have a lot of flips in a neighborhood, it tends to kind of ignite price or kind of drive price a little bit harder than it normally would have. So I think that timing wise, if you're wanting that kind of picturesque home with oak trees and a large yard and at an affordable price, number one, I would be looking in this section. And number two, I would be wanting to do something sooner than later, just because I'm not sure, no guarantees, but I'm not sure where the prices go from here. Guys, listen, I hope that helps. I am actually going to do a video, a kind of a follow-up video to this, because in the process of this, I realized like, well, it'd be good to do a video about where to live around the domain as well, but trying to keep this within 5 miles of Apple, I cut out a lot of neighborhoods that I kind of thought would be cool to do that are down here. So I will do a follow-up video where to live in and around the domain. But for now, these are the neighborhoods, depending on your price point, that I would be focusing on if I were going to be working in and around Apple, or if I wanted to invest in and around Apple. Until the next one, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.